back to Let's Talk. I'm Jade Harrell, joined by Teena Love, Amy Rivera, Amber Clear, and Jamie Valentine Dolby. This is where we come together to talk about issues and the headlines that affect us as ladies and share our perspective. So welcome back, everyone. Hi, ladies.
Yes, hello.
Welcome back. Well, I want to know what you're loving right now. We're in a new season. What's winning your heart? Amy.
What's winning my heart is seeing people out doing things with their families and friends. I know because of COVID, everyone's been shut down and scared, but I'm really enjoying seeing people at the parks and doing things that they haven't been able to do for almost a year. So I'm loving that.
Fantastic. I'm loving that too. Amber Clear.
Ooh, I'm loving my credit score. I cracked 800 for the first time in my life. And I know that seems like such a small thing, but I've worked so hard to get here. So not doing too bad for a kid that used to sleep in her car. So.
Oh, not at all. Congrats and celebrations to you. And let me know if you are going to hold any courses. Yeah. I mean, I thought I was doing good. I'd like to get on up there with you too. Teena Love, what are you loving right now?
Well, I'm kind of like Amy. I'm getting encouraged because I think people may be kind of warming up to getting the vaccine, and we're seeing different states that are starting to do well because people are getting more comfortable with traveling and everything. So yeah, that's what I'm loving. I'm loving seeing people kind of get back some sense of normalcy. I don't want to say back to normal, but normalcy. I'll say
it's coming. It's coming.
Yes.
For sure. Miss Jamie.
I am loving summertime in St. Louis, and I'm loving the way the city is embracing all of the Juneteenth celebrations coming up. It's fabulous. It's great to see it a holiday for a lot of organizations and corporations. So I'm excited for Juneteenth STL year round.
I'm excited for that too. I'm glad you brought that up. And I'm going to say this kind of sarcastically. I'm so excited that school's letting out and I have no clue what we're going to do this summer. So yeah, I'm loving that. Well, we are certainly loving as well all the strides women are making in so many areas lately. And one difficult area is in entertainment. Women have struggled to break ground in comedy and entertainment for ages. Thankfully, there have been many women like Carol Burnett, Wanda Sykes, Tina Fey, and St. Louis's very own LaWanda Page, or as she is affectionately known as, Aunt Esther from famed Sanford and Son show, to open the door for women in comedy today. Continuing to walk through that door and here to tell us more about season 2 of HBO's A Black Lady Sketch Show is Skye Townsend. Skye, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
For sure. Whoop, whoop. Season 2, Skye.
Yes. Season 2 is so amazing, and it's more colorful, it's funnier, it's bolder, it's riskier. So I'm excited to talk about it.
For sure. Well, let's talk about the origins of that risk, that boldness, that unprecedented comedy that launched your show.
Yeah, well, it's really exciting. Season 1 was amazing. I wasn't a part of season 1, I just joined, but they came in with 3 Emmy nominations. And I think they really just wanted to bump up a lot of the statements we were making on the show this season. And, for me, I love that you mentioned Carol Burnett and Wanda Sykes. Like, I love bold female comedians. So I'm excited to be on a platform where I could really speak my mind. It's rare.
Indeed, it is. What honed that in you? One of the things I love to see as we're emerging is how women are going full out. What unleashed that for you or inspired you when you were starting out?
Ooh, I was raised to believe that having a sense of humor is survival. One of my favorite quotes is Carol Burnett said, "Comedy is just tragedy with time." And I think it's like, if you're able to laugh at things and find joy in the roughest situations, it's survival. So for me, I feel like comedy is, yes, to laugh, but also to make a lot of statements. And so I wanted to be strategic about what I did in my career to really make a statement. And I think this show is very funny, but there's a lot of jokes that if you're paying attention, we're saying a lot, there's a lot of messages. So that's it. It's really exciting to be on a show where we have something to say versus just making people laugh and making funny faces. We have a lot going on.
Oh, for sure. Well, in today's times, there's so many things off the charts that it really does help to be able to laugh. And that edge reminds me of Wanda Sykes. You know, it's cutting, but it's sharp and it makes you think. And a Black lady sketch show, in and of itself, kind of originated as a way to cut through the fat and through the crowd of comedy in order to give a voice to Black women in particular. Why was this so groundbreaking for us as Black women and the audiences that are watching?
Man, I don't think people realize how few Black women are in sketch comedy. When you think, a few come to mind, Deborah Wilson or, Maya Rudolph. But in reality, in the last, however long SNL has existed, only 14 Black women have hosted the show. So it's not a lot of Black women in the sketch space. And so I think for Robin Thede to create this and be like, listen, this is a voice that is usually forgotten in this field. So let's turn up the heat and show them how versatile we can be, because there are so many different types of Black women, not just a stereotype that you may usually see. There's the nerdy Black woman, the political Black woman, the bold, the quiet, the shy, so we really like to reflect all of that on our show. It's awesome.
For sure. And I want to bring the ladies in the conversation. My last question would be, what makes sketch comedy so cool and unique?
Yeah. Well, you know what? I just have to jump in and say, first of all, Skye, hats off to you. I'm so excited for you that you're going to be on season 2. And I know it was hard because I heard that you actually had been with them in 2019, but you had to like keep it on the low all that time before they announced that you were coming. So that is fabulous. And I think the thing that is so good about the Black Lady Sketch Show is that all of you guys were remind me of somebody that I know. Okay, you see what I'm saying? So all y'all have like different personalities, your hair, the way y'all do your characters. You just remind me of either somebody that is I'm friends with or somebody that I've seen that I know. So I think that is really, really funny. And then all of y'all have different impersonations too. I'm understanding that you can impersonate Beyonce. So I hope that we get a chance to see that before you get on this.
It's so funny. People always bring that up. I did videos impersonating Beyonce. And for me, the biggest thing about impressions is you can get down the voice, right? But paying attention to somebody's mannerisms and, how they hold their fingers or their jaw, or, Beyonce holds one eyebrow higher and her head is usually tilted. So when I do Beyonce, I really try to, think of exactly how she moves. And so it's funny because people always ask me, they're like, who are you impersonating now? But something I've been doing is trying to learn an impersonation of every guy I've ever dated, because I don't want to waste my time in the relationship. So I'm like, you know what? You're all a character. And so it's been fascinating to revisit. Oh, wow, he was from, Harlem, New York, and he had like a, a raspy voice, and he talked like this. Like, I love studying people. So it's fun with celebrities.
I know him.
I know, that's even more fun to be, to be like, all right, how does he talk? How does he move? And embodying people I know is so fun.
That's cool. That's cool.
It definitely sounds like somebody I dated.
Harlem, yep, from New York. A lot of the sweethearts and all of that.
I know him, girl. I know him.
Yeah.
He's trash.
And then you sing. You got a great voice. All of you, a lot of you sing, it sounds like, and you do pretty well. So that's good too.
Yeah, I think it's fun to be well-rounded in sketch because a character can sing, or, you could be humming in the beginning of a sketch. There's so many ways to sneak in your different gifts. So it's exciting. We get to unleash a lot this season as it unfolds. So I'm excited for people to see that.
I'm a huge fan.
We have a comedian on our panel as well. And I would love to know what a comedian would ask a comedian.
Oh, I have so many
opportunity we have.
So I, first of all, want to say I'm so proud and I'm so happy for you, because I know, especially the female world of comedy can be so cutthroat. I think that there is this misalignment of there's only room for one seat for a female at the table. So there's this misalignment. We tear down other females. I mean, I try not to. And I think that then the question becomes, how did you get ahead? And so it's, what can you do for me? What can you do for me? So I'm gonna flip it and say, what can we do for you? Like, what can we do to help you? What do you need us to share? How can we help you? Because I'm just so proud of you and I'm happy for you.
Thank you. That's an awesome question. And And I love even just with you saying that, I feel like comedy is passing a ball, right? And it's like, you never love to watch a ball hog. You want to see somebody who knows when it's time to pass the ball, right? Like somebody who wants to make all the funny jokes and all the, it's like, yeah, pass the ball, please. But what can you do? I think just, probably what you're already doing is supporting women in comedy and just making sure you tune in, because that's all it really is tapping in. And I think my, advice to anybody getting into comedy is do your homework, like study the greats, like don't get too comfortable with having access to the whole world via social media. Do your homework, if you don't know who Carol Burnett is, what are you doing? Do your homework. So the only thing I ask is keep streaming, because we need to get in these spaces, but we need the support to keep creating. But I'm just honored to even be in this space, because it's unheard of. I grew up watching In Living Color, and I just wanted to do this so bad. So it's a blessing.
Wow, it's amazing to realize. Amy.
Sorry, I was on mute. I was saying the same thing that Amber, I was thinking the same thing Amber was saying. I was also wanting to know what Amber was going to ask, because I'm like, all right, we got 2 female comedians. What are we going to talk about? But yeah, just for one, I'm incredibly just in awe of this and how far you've come and what you've done, and how you use your voice to share a message, not just for a certain community, but for the world to understand in such a powerful way, through laughter and hope and inspiration. And whatever we can do to support you as females, as a community, as St. Louisans, I'm just like so happy I live here and I get to be part of this right now. That's a positive spin on things that we've been dealing with lately, and I just love it.
Yeah, much needed. That would be great for Jami to bring us home on this. Let's find out what burns in your heart. Jami, you're really good about what's new, what's fresh, what's happening, and the current trends, and this is among them. What would you close us out with, Jami, with our questions?
I think I would just say, what's one of the things that, as you do your comedy, we spoke about the Beyonce impersonation. I think all of my friends, we love when you do Beyonce, and that's how I was introduced to you. How do you stay relevant on social media, but also not give too much of, what you're doing on the show away? How do you keep it fresh in both worlds?
Yeah. That's a great question. I have mixed feelings about social media, because I think it can be used for amazing things, but I think it can be really mean and very unnecessary. And so I'm very torn, because I value my privacy, but I also think that there's a lot of value in being transparent. So I try to only speak if I have something to say. Honestly, I don't just post because it's Tuesday and I should post a selfie. If I'm not feeling it, I'm not feeling it. But I do think for me personally, on my platform, I like to show if I do have an off day, or if I'm reflecting about a day that, I may be mourning a loved one who passed away or something like that. I try to show that comedians are not always happy. And that's just personally important for me, is to be transparent. I think, there's a misconception that we're always happy, we're always laughing. But in reality, comedians have a deep understanding of pain and of sadness, and so we dedicate our lives to making sure that other people get a break. So it's important, I think, to show all the layers on social media. But I don't really post a lot of characters, because I'd prefer to air them on the show. So I don't really have a super funny page, but if I have a funny idea, I'm like, all right, okay, cool, it's been a month, let me post it.
I have so many questions. I know that we got to wrap up, like how comedy affects your dating life and how your friendships and all these questions. But I do want to make sure that you get a chance to tell people how long you've been doing this and how much work you've put in behind the scenes, so that people know this isn't just an overnight success thing for you, that you've worked for this and you deserve this.
Yes, thank you. I'm 27 now. I started auditioning at 17, and I was like, oh, by 18, I'll be a star. And then, I started auditioning, and it took 600 auditions to get my first big job. Yeah. And I can't even process that number until I reflect and I go, was I a dreamer? Was I delusional? What was I on? I don't know. But I felt so deeply in my spirit that what was for me had my name on it. And so I kept going. But, I think a lot of people see stuff and it seems overnight. It's like, oh, the new girl they hired. But I always
overnight.
say it's not overnight. You have to really love the work because, when you're doing side jobs just to keep your rent going, or when the auditions broke your heart, or when you get this close, it's like, it's really important to love the work because the wins come later. The wins, it's not an overnight thing, but 10
but
years.
so many people think that it is. So many people think that it's instantaneous. And it's like, I just want to make sure that people know the work and the dedication that you've put in, because you have worked hard.
Absolutely. And that is so key to what we were hoping to hear from you. We knew you've been grinding, but to really get a sense of it, I think as we're celebrating the accomplishments and achievements of women that have come before us and those that are coming next, that encouragement you just left is really going to resonate with them. I hope it does. It most certainly ignites me. Skye, way to do that thing. And congratulations to all of you on the groundbreaking efforts and really pushing through the next season. So proud of you on this.
Thank you guys so much. It was awesome speaking to you. All these women, I'm like, all right, we're starting the day good, high energy.
Yes. Well, thank you so much again for joining us, Skye. Everybody, make sure you check out A Black Lady Sketch Show so you can see Skye in action. And one of the best things you can do for her and the entire cast, team, crew, and movement is to share. Keep streaming, keep sharing. Check all your local listings and find it's easy to remember. Black Lady Sketch Show looks like us. And to keep up with Skye, follow her on Instagram at Skye Townsend. That's SKYE Townsend. And don't go anywhere. When we come back, it's getting a little frizzy around here, and that's a good thing. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Behold the angry giant. Behold the angry giant. Behold the angry giant. Behold the angry giant. It only takes a moment to make a moment. Take time to be a dad today.
And welcome back. Our next guest once lived in the city of angels, but it was no angelic time. After going through a few traumatic years, she grew her own set of wings. And right now in the Show Me state, she's here to show people just what she's made of. Please welcome founder of Frizzy by Nature, Leslie Hughes. Thanks for joining us, Leslie.
Hi, hello. Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
I'm excited to have you. The first thing I think of is naughty by nature, but it's by nature. Will you tell us more about the name and how your not so angelic experience in California helped you launch the idea?
Yeah, so I actually, the name Frizzy, I got the nickname Frizzy because of my hair. I used to, all through childhood, college, had straight perm hair, and after college, moved back home, cut my hair, went natural, and that's how I got the nickname Frizzy. And it just kind of, I was like, well, I need a new like Instagram name. So Frizzy by Nature just came about literally like that. So to take you back to Los Angeles, I am from St. Louis, Missouri, born and raised. So a couple years after graduating college, I moved to Los Angeles. I was just going through some things, relationship issues, was at a job I hated, and I wanted to be free. I was like, this is my time. I want to live my life. I had just cut my hair. I was frizzy. I felt like I was finally becoming who I was. And so as soon as I moved to LA, it was like a couple months in, my grandmother passed away. Exactly a year later, one of my aunts passed away. And maybe like a year after that, my mom passed away. And 6 months later, my other aunt passed away. So that's all my aunts, my only living grandmother, and my mother. So as you can imagine, I just was Yeah, and so all this happens while I'm now across the country. Halfway
Right.
across the country. And so after that, I just decided to move home. And, I was just in a really dark place. I had lost myself, didn't know who I was supposed to be. My mom was my biggest cheerleader. Everything I did, it was for her. She was my purpose. I'm gonna go to school, get a good job to take care of my mom. And so after she was gone, I didn't have that anymore. So I lost really my purpose. And then Frizzy by my organization, Frizzy by Nature, came about. And it really came about because it was January it was 2017. I moved home with my brother and my sister-in-law and lived with them for a while. And I had an idea to come up with, to get women together and talk about natural hair. And I was like, no, we should do it let's do it bigger. Let's create a festival. And that's literally how it came. And once I decided I wanted to do that, they had my back and we hit the ground running, and the rest is history.
Crazy. So it sounded like so many things had crumbled around you,
Yeah.
in St. Louis. You left St. Louis, you go to California, and then there's so much loss and hurt and trauma in California. You come back home, you're finding yourself, but you rose from the ashes. I'm going to ask this one question and then open up the floor, but how did you find yourself in the midst of all of that in order to rise again?
You know what? I just have a really great support system. If anybody asks me what I care about the most, it's family. And just having the support of my brother and his wife and my cousin and my dad, I think they knew I needed something too to kind of take me out this place. And they just literally, I said I wanted to do it and they had my back. And I think just creating my own organization, these events, it was something to kind of uplift myself. And my mom still has my back, whether she's here physically or not. And it was just, it was just my support system. I had that, they uplifted me. And I knew too that my mom, her biggest dream was just to see me and my brother happy. So I couldn't wallow too long. Because I knew what she wanted, and I knew what she wanted from me, so I had to get going.
But you had to have something for them to support. The vision came through the cloudiness.
Yes, it did.
Really
yes,
amazing.
it did. Mm-hmm.
Ladies, let's have at it. Jamie, you want to kick it off?
I do. I'm totally obsessed with your energy and your personality. I feel like you really just kind of give off that contagious, high spirit that I think a lot of us really have been missing with being in person, but we're connecting on social media. And I have to say, you're really a gem in that space of being genuine. And when you think about Frizzy and Walk the Walk, a lot of women, especially a lot of Black women, we change our hair all the time. And you've turned the word Frizzy, where some people had considered as a negative thing, is really being a positive. How has that journey been received by larger St. Louis? Because I've been to your events and it really is a melting pot. It represents St. Louis. It represents all women. How were you able to get that from a word that some people used to see as a negative by saying their hair was frizzy?
Yeah, well, I just, you speaking to when you say, I give off a genuine energy, but at first before my mom passed away, I was always a really private person. And the thing that kind of had people start gravitating towards me was my vulnerability in that situation of losing my mom and lacking self-love and not being confident and being insecure. So once I opened up, I had people messaging me and saying, I really feel your story. I've been through the same situation. And again, my mom was always my cheerleader and told me how beautiful I was too. So when she was gone, I didn't have that either. So I was really lacking a lot of confidence and self-love. And I knew that if I was I know many other women experience those same things. And so once I became natural and not caring as much and just wanted to be more myself, that's when I became more freer and more confident. And so I wanted to bring that kind of love and energy to women in St. Louis, because they have these other big festivals in bigger cities. But I'm from St. Louis, so I'm always gonna rep St. Louis. I'm like, St. Louis, we need that. We need the positive energy. We need great events, uplifting, inspiring events. So I just really wanted to create a safe space and a safe environment for people to like be who they are, like free and open and out, and not worry about who thinks what. But I just wanted to create like just that atmosphere, like be who you are, love who you are. And yeah, and I think that's why it would just people gravitated to the event so much. And we grew quite a bit, like year after year. Like we really like expanded over the years. And I think just because I really word of mouth, and people come out and they have a good time.
So I can't wait to come to your event, but tell me, what can somebody who's not been to your events, what can they expect when they get there?
Oh my gosh, it's so fun. it's like a big like family reunion, block party. It's just like so we normally have a natural beauty festival, so that's called Frizz Fest. So there we have, it's just like a really inspiring event. We have at Frizz Fest, we have all women-led businesses, small Black-owned businesses. So it's another way to kind of get that money circulating throughout the community, and people who are small businesses to get their products out and get more customers. We have music and live music from local artists. We have things for kids, face painting, pony rides, food, like local food vendors and food trucks. So it's just like a really community event. So it's just, they can just expect to have a lot of fun and leave on a high note with high energy and happy.
Just hearing you tell us about it it's almost melancholy. It's taken me back to those times, and we can't wait to see what happens post COVID and as you go forward. Teena and Amy, could you share with us a quick question or comment for Leslie before we have to let her go as well?
Absolutely. Leslie, hats off to you. Congratulations. And thank you so much for having the Frizz Fest, because like Jami talked about, Frizzy has always been a negative thing. Just our hair in general, whether it be dreadlocks, whether it be braids, whether it be, Bantu knots or whatever it is. Oftentimes those hairstyles are not celebrated, especially in the corporate space, or just in society in general. You wear braids and all of a sudden you get looked at, side eye, whatever. But what I see with your festival is that it is a celebration, and it helps us to embrace, be proud of the different textures of hair that we have. I look at the photos of the festival and I see African-American women and men with so many different textures of hair and different styles. And it just makes me proud because it makes me want to celebrate who we are. And then it's not negative to have thick hair. It's not negative to have frizzy hair. It's not negative to have braids. This is an expression of who we are and what we are made of. So thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you. That means a lot. That means a lot. That was part of the vision.
Yes.
All right, Amy.
I just want to go to one of these festivals so I can learn more and to learn how to celebrate for you and with you. I just want to learn, and I want to go to a block party.
Come. Everybody is welcome. Everyone is welcome. We love to have any and everybody.
Absolutely.
I love what you do, and I want to support you the best way I can. And I just have something fun to do to learn, for me to learn too. So I think that's great.
And Leslie, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to speak with us about Frizzy by Nature and all that's happening and yet to come. If you'd like to know more information about Frizzy by Nature, visit frizzybynature.com. And for all things St. Louis, visit stltv.net and tune into our show every week on your social media channels, wherever you can find us. We look forward to seeing you next week. Take care.